Take a look.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post. You already know the vibes. And first things first is Wednesday. You already know what that means. It's a special day. It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you and yours. If you're single, if you're in a relationship, if you're out here creeping and hiding, whatever, you know, peeking and whatever, you know what I mean? Happy Valentine's Day from Big Hero Chris to you. And what a episode of Dynamite it was. I think this was in Austin, Texas. I think. And this was a dope episode, man. It started off with Jon Moxley taking on Dax the X, aka FTR Bald. And these two fought. They had a good match. They were in the Valentine's Day spirit. They kissed, you know. Nothing wrong with two grown men kissing in the middle of a wrestling match, you know. These things happen from time to time. But, you know, Dax the Axe took it to old Jon Moxley. There was a lot of biting and back scratching. A whole lot of sexual tension, if you ask me. I'm not one to kink shame or judge, but, you know, these things happen. But Jon Moxley ended up getting the win, even using some underhanded tactics. And even as he was doing this, like, he was cheating, he was flipping off the crowd. But the people love Jon Moxley too much, man. Jon Moxley is in that category where no matter what he does, the people just love him. Like, he can do the most vile and disgusting thing, and people will still fuck with him because he's Jon Moxley. He's just so cool. But Jon Moxley, he busts out like this real cool combination. Like, he hit a low blow behind the referee's back, he hit an RKO, and then after that he hit a curb stomp, and then hit the power driver. I'm like, yo, that's a nice little combo breaker. But Jon Moxley ended up getting the win with via submission. I think he locked in the bulldog choke. Dax tapped out, and then after the match, Jon Moxley wouldn't let the hold go. Like, he still had it locked in. So then FTR Harry had to come out and make the save. But then Claudio came out, and then everyone just started fighting. And the whole time, the people are chanting for the BCC, even though I'm guessing they're the heels. I don't know, man. With the Blackpool Combat Club, it's so complicated because they're heels, they're faces. They just come out and just beat people up. And the people love them, man. Like I said, they're just in that category where they can do no wrong. They love the Blackpool Combat Club, except for that punk ass William Yuta. Nobody likes him at all. But, you know, this is ultimately leading to what I thought was going to be a match at Revolution, which would make sense because, you know, FTR is from North Carolina. So you figure that's where this was leading. But it's actually leading to a match next week on Dynamite. It's going to be FTR taking the Blackpool Combat Club on. But speaking of Revolution, for the first time in a long time, I was actually happy to see the Don Callis family because it's looking like they're moving past Chris Jericho. They're moving past all the extracurricular BS. Yeah, we're moving on to something great. Don Callis acknowledged the fact that Takeshita beat Chris Jericho with his own move. He beat Kenny Omega twice in the span of a week. And, you know, he's really doing a good job of putting over Takeshita and even Powerhouse Hobbs. And Don Callis is like, listen, man, we're trying to get some talent to fight us, but nobody wants to. So we got to keep it in the family. And at Revolution is going to be Takeshita taking on Will Ospreay. And god damn it, I'm going to be there. And I get to see Will Ospreay wrestle live. And it's already cool enough that this is my first AEW pay-per-view. 1. 2 is Sting's last match. But 3, I finally get to see Will Ospreay wrestle live. So I'm locked in, buddy. I am locked DF in. And, you know, Don Callis threw out a little shot and said that, you know, at the end of the day, we're always going to be one big happy family, which leads me to believe that they're absolutely not going to be a big happy family at the end of this. But we just got to wait to see where this match goes. So after this, we had a squash match. We had the return of Mr. Wardlow. He's back. I thought he was going to be injured, but thankfully, you know, he's not injured too bad. You know, I saw that he had on a knee brace. But it is good to see Mr. Wardlow back in action, even though it was a squash match against some dude. And I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you. I didn't really see the point of this match because it was a squash match and you had Adam Cole on commentary, but he wasn't really saying too much. squash match. Wardlow was flexing on him, flexing out at the big screen. So nothing. I'm gonna be honest. There was no real need for this match to be on the card, especially knowing that you had a Texas Death Match as your main event, and that was like a nine. The main event was a 9-minute match. So if you would have taken off the squash match, you could have had a little bit more time for that main event. But we'll get to that when we get to it. But what we do want to get to is the fact that we have the rated R super duper megastar Adam Copeland, aka Edge, taking on Daniel Garcia, and this is ultimately to see who will face Christian Cage at Revolution for the TNT Championship. And I gotta say, this was a good match. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything less. You got two professionals going at it, and the thing that was really intriguing was the fact that you had Adam Copeland working on a little bit more heel, because the people were really behind Daniel Garcia. They were actually cheering for both guys, but the Daniel Garcia cheers were a little bit above the Adam Copeland cheers. So I'm assuming Edge just went with it and just said, let me just work heel, man. And he's mocking the dance, he's working more aggressive. But as the match was going on, it looked like, I think Edge had the crossface locked in on Daniel Garcia, but that damn patriarchy, Nick Wayne, the son of Christian Cage, and his dinosaur friend attacking both men, and this led to a double disqualification. So at this point, I'm thinking, alright, they're going to do the same thing and go the whole triple threat route. But that wasn't the case, because they were attacking everybody. It was looking like they're going to hit the concerto on Daniel Garcia, Christian is, but Adam Copeland makes the save, and then they beat him up, and then Christian Cage actually hits the concerto on Adam Copeland. And Daniel Garcia was late making the save because he just got his ass whooped by like a grown man, a child, and a dinosaur. So you're not really going to recover too fast from that. So later in the show, they said that Adam Copeland was able to walk to the back, but he was looking a little jacked up, man. His feet was dragging. So I'm expecting some type of update. And outside of that, we didn't really get more of an update as to Adam Copeland. We didn't have much of an update as far as what the match is going to be. So I'm assuming, because the fact that Adam Copeland took the concerto, will he be able to compete at Revolution? Because it's like 3 weeks away. So maybe Christian Cage versus Daniel Garcia, and Adam Copeland makes the interference, but he ends up helping Christian. I don't know. Maybe. We have to wait and see. But yeah, man, that damn Christian, father of the year, but he's a horrible human being. Like Joe Jackson. So speaking of Revolution, once again, we have our AEW World Heavyweight Champion Samoa Joe making his way out to the ring. He's addressing the fact that he's got to wrestle in a triple threat match. And he said that, he was the single-handed person that brought back the ranking system. And he saw the match last week. He saw the fact that it went to a 30-minute draw. And he figured, the championship committee would do the right thing and knock both of those jabronis to the back of the other line. But that wasn't the case. They ended up making it a triple threat match. So Samoa Joe said that, look, so seeing as that's the case, he's going to whoop both their asses, and there's nothing or anything anybody can do to stop him. And of course, this leads us to whose house? Swerve's house. And the people were so behind Swerve, Jesus had to come back. He was chanting for Swerve as well. I mean, look at God. Literally. So Swerve makes his way out to the ring, and he says that, listen, he's been grinding all this time, all these years, and to make it to this moment, and there's nobody that can stop him. And then Adam Page comes out, and he's demented and crazy as ever. He's saying, listen, I'm not mad, even though he's clearly mad. And he was like, listen, my whole point was to stop Swerve from becoming AEW champion. That's still the goal, and blah, blah, blah. And his mustache is becoming more egregious than ever. Whole lot of egregious facial hair on this episode of Dynamite. But Hangman saying that, look, he's going to kick Swerve's ass, and Swerve saying he's going to kick Hangman's ass. And Samoa Joe's like, I'm not here for none of this shit. You're not going to beat his ass and take my title. You're not going to beat his ass and take my title. I'm going to beat both their asses and retain my title. And then he drops the mic and walks off. So that's setting up for the main event for the AEW Championship. I don't know who's going to win, man. It can be either Swerve. It can either be Hangman. It could be Samoa Joe that retains, man. Either option will be pretty dope, man, if you ask me. I tell you what. So after this, we have Timeless Toni Storm presenting a motion picture feature film extravaganza. She's showing the whole backstory of how, her and Deonna Purrazzo had the matching tattoos. And she said sometimes you have to look to the past, ultimately just to kill it. So she gets a touch-up of the tattoo that she had matching with Toni Storm's. and I think it's like a duck or a platypus or parry the platypus, whatever the fuck it is. So ultimately what happened was she got a sword added to it, stabbing the whatever the animal is that they got tattooed, symbolizing the death of their friendship. And I'm like, oh, that's diabolical. And then you cut to Renee Paquette asking Deonna Purrazzo, what are your thoughts on this? And she's like, listen, man, I'm gonna break your arm, you bitch. And she just walks away. I'm like, yo, she called her a bitch. So that's how you know this feud is super serious. Earlier in this video, I mentioned egregious facial hair. And when you think of egregious facial hair, you think of Hangman Adam Page and the EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the Young Bucks. They showed them earlier in the episode arriving in the private jet. And Chaz was marking out for that because they had Wi-Fi in the jet, and that was pretty cool. And instead of having the mustaches or the goatees, like they switched their facial hair like that damn Lexus King. We got to look into this because this is getting out of hand. But the Young Bucks show up and with this the little soul patches, kind of similar to what Sting has going on. So I see what you guys are doing, and this leads us to their match against Top Flight. And this was a good match. So you have a new entrance for the Young Bucks. You have new themes. You have new ring gear. Even though they've been wearing this for the whole week, with the white suits with Sting and Darby Allin's blood all over it. I'm like, yo, y'all haven't watched those, or y'all can't get any new gear? You guys are rich, y'all. You don't have to do this every week, bro. I know that shit stinks, man. I just know it does. But they come up with a new theme. But as far as the match goes with Top Flight, it was fun, man. The EVPs, they're doing their thing. They're working more of a heel style. They're cheating, hitting low blows. They're being aggressive, you know. But Top Flight, man, they're doing the thing as well. And Action Andretti is drinking his water bottle very weirdly. I don't know how he does it. I don't know why he does it. The EVPs ended up getting the win, and then after the match, they're talking to Tony Schiavone, and they're tired of the disrespect that Tony Schiavone shows. And he's like, and the Young Bucks are like, listen, this is gonna be $1,000 fine. And then I think it was Nicholas. No, it was Nicholas who ended up pushing Tony Schiavone, and the people didn't like that because you don't put your hands on Tony Schiavone. He doesn't bother nobody. He just has a hoop earring and he just yells Sting's name all the time. He doesn't bother nobody. And it's looking like they're going for the EVP trigger on Tony Schiavone. But then Darby Allin comes out and makes a save. And then he starts talking trash to the Young Bucks. He's like, listen, when this company first started, the mission statement was, it's time to change the world. But somewhere along the lines, the Young Bucks lost sight of that. They re-signed. They just said that they want the money and the light travel schedule. And they just ended up forgetting the mission statement. And Darby also stated that in the first episode of Dynamite, Darby wasn't featured, but Brandon Cutler was featured. And he's pretty much saying a whole bunch of things that the internet says, like especially people like Jim Cornette, that when they call it All Friends Wrestling, and they put over, you know, the Cucamonga Kids and the California Connection, you know, basic internet buzzwords that we hear all the time from the internet. But, you know, there was a bit of truth to it because, you know, whatever, it is what it is. But in the midst of all this, the match is made official at Revolution, and the Texas Tornado Tag Team match is going to be the Young Bucks, the EVPs, taking on Sting and Darby Allin for the AEW Tag Team Championships of the World. Hey man, we'll see. And that's going to be Sting's final match. So after this, we have an appearance from the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. And listen, man, I like Bullet Club Gold. The Acclaim, when they first came out, I really fucked with them. I liked them at the time, but now I'm kind of like, it is what it is. I don't really have too much for the Acclaim nowadays. And now they're bringing down the Bullet Club Gold with them. And for the longest time, I was thinking, okay, it's gonna be Bullet Club Gold taking on the Acclaim, but it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon, if it does happen. But this Friday on Rampage, which is gonna take place at 7 o'clock due to the All-Star game, it's gonna be a 12-man tag team match. Cool. Anyway, we have the one-woman's match. We have Willow Nightingale taking on Sky Blue, and Willow had come out with Stokely Hathaway, and it's cool that they, you know, the power of positivity that flows from Willow has been passed on to Stokely Hathaway, and he's cool with Willow, and Willow's cool with Stokely, and all is right in the world. And this was a fine match. This was a really fun match. Willow hit 2 pounces on Sky Blue, and Sky Blue took him like a champ. Sky Blue is being all dark and emo and hot topic-y, you know. But this is a good match. And it looked like Sky Blue had the win with the code blue, but Stokely was being a distraction. He was distracting the referee. and Willow ended up hitting the Babe with the power bomb on Sky Blue and got the win 1, 2, 3. And where this goes as far as the whole TBS championship, I don't know. I figured that Thunder Rosa would be figured into this, but that is not the case. But you know, it is what it is. But this leads us to our main events: Orange Cassidy versus Matt Taven in a Texas death match. And this escalated kind of quick, you know what I mean? Because it started off as a challenge from Roddy to Orange Cassidy. You had the Kingdom, the Undisputed Kingdom, attacking Rocky Romero and Trent. And this pissed off Orange Cassidy so bad that he made it a Texas death match. And I can't even lie to you, going into this, I was like, it's Matt Taven. I mean, does this really warrant a Texas death match? Honestly, it didn't. But as far as the match goes, it was a good match. For the, I want to say like the 10 minutes that this went on, because this started around 9:51 my time. And I'm like, yo, is this going to be a 10-minute, 9-minute match? And it wasn't. It went over a little bit. It had a little bit of an overrun. And this match was pretty damn neat. There was blood and table spots. There was one spot where Matt Taven dived over the top rope and did a Superman dive through a table. He was going for Orange Cassidy, missed tremendously. I mean, that was a crazy spot. Orange Cassidy was bleeding orange. He was all over the place and everything. There was thumbtacks and chocolates, and Trent came out with a pipe. He tried to lay the pipe on Matt Taven, and the other one, I'm blanking on his name, I apologize. And there was pipes everywhere, and people were getting laid out with pipe, and pipe was being laid. And even Roderick Strong came out and he tried to run interference, and he tried to hit Orange Cassidy in the face with a knee, but Trent ended up taking the hit for his boy, his best homie, his best friend, Orange Cassidy. And Orange Cassidy hit the Superman punch on Matt Taven with the chain wrapped around his fist, and that was a pretty cool spot. Ended up getting the win 1, 2, 3. And this was a fine match. Would I have made this the main event? If I had to pick a main event for this match, I probably would have went with the Daniel Garcia Adam Copeland match, me personally, because the way that ended, it felt like it was more heat, and that would have been a good way to close out the show. Or you could have had the Samoa Joe Hangman Swerve promo close out the show. But it is what it is, man. I don't book this shit. I just watch it and review it, and hopefully you guys like it. With that being said, guys, what did you think of this week's episode of Dynamite? Are you excited for Revolution? I sure am. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys take care. Be easy. I'm out. Peace.